I'd like to call the meeting to order for Tuesday, July 5th, 2016. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bob Kirk will lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. As we celebrate the anniversary and the birthday of our great nation, I think we ought to all pause tonight and think how we have been blessed by the Lord. I have something I'd like to read that Dr. James Dobson wrote. Our only hope as a nation is the scriptural underpinnings on which our laws, our understanding of morality, and the institution of the family are based. Lord, continue to bless this nation because we need it in the most desperate way. We have fallen we're away from the way we were brought up, the way the nation was founded, and we need you in the worst way now. Continue to bless this board, bless this community, and bless this nation. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Kirk. Mr. Recorder, please show all in attendance here tonight. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from June 20th, 2016.
So moved.
Motion from Carolyn Norman, second. Second from Robert Taylor Jr. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Next item, new business. Under new business, item A, bad debt write-off for 2015-2016. Steve Anderson.
Should have all received in your packet a list of the bad debt write-off for 2015-16. This is standard procedure we do every year, write off the delinquent accounts. Just writing them off of our books doesn't mean that we won't collect them. They will still be sent to the collection agency. We can still collect them here if these people ever come back to have utilities turned on again. This is just a procedure that we do to get this amount off of our books. Total amount is $51,180.94.
I'd entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Bob Kirk, second.
Second.
Second from Bill Eskew. Any discussion or questions?
I got a question. Were any of these covered with deposits?
Yes, this is after deposits have been applied. This amount has gone down, if you remember, about 3 years ago, before we raised the deposits, this amount would be close to $200,000. So the deposits have made that much of a difference. It would be a lot more than this if not for the deposits being raised.
Is this reported to the credit bureau?
It is when we turn it over to the collection agency.
Were most of these customers, were they rental customers, or
I would imagine a lot of them are, but I don't know.
how much of a percentage do we have to pay the collection agency?
Bob, do you know that? I'm not sure.
Don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, 3.5 to, it's less than 5, I know that.
Of the total that's out there, how much annually do they?
We just
Bring back.
started with a new collection. We have not been getting any results the past few years from the collection agency. We just started with a new one, so I don't really have any results on them because it's only been a few months. Right.
Okay, thank you.
I think they do a pretty good job.
You do?
Next year at this time, we should be able to tell a lot better how they're doing.
Is that a local group?
No, they're out of
I think
they're out of Middle Tennessee. They've got an office in Jackson.
Any other questions? Have motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, public hearing, ordinance for the city of Dyersburg, Tennessee to adopt a budget for fiscal year July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017, ordinance number BB 655. Steve? You want to discuss the budget with us?
Everybody should have received the condensed version of the budget in your packet. I know most of you were in the meeting Friday when we passed it. If anybody's got any questions, be glad to answer those.
The fund balance is pretty well stayed, as we discussed at our meeting the other day. You didn't delve in, go into any of them, or,
No, this budget does not use any fund balance from any fund.
but
They're
you're,
all balanced.
they're all balanced, okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you.
Of course, in your minutes, you've got 3 separate Finance Committee meeting notes from June 24th, June 30th, July 1st. All those, obviously, if we pass the budget, there's no really reason to read that. The only exception to that would be for the minutes from Friday, June 24th, city insurance. Discussed the insurance at that meeting. The current Cigna insurance coverage for employees was really good for the past year. 2015, 2016 claims were down around $900,000. The city will receive a rebate of $28,600. We made a motion to approve the insurance at that meeting and had a second. It was passed by all. Basically what that means, no increase to employees for the insurance coverage, and elected to stay with Cigna Insurance. And if we approve this budget, that's included in there. So that's really the only thing the Finance Committee minutes that we need to discuss. Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve this budget for next year.
So moved.
Motion from Kevin Chaney, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill Esky. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Steve. Next item on the agenda, public hearing held tonight, ordinance BB 656. An ordinance for the purpose of amending the City of Dyersburg, Tennessee municipal zoning ordinance regulating development within the corporate limits of Dyersburg, Tennessee to minimize danger to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program. Guess I'll call on Thomas. This was a recommendation from the Planning Commission. The next 2 items were sent before the Planning Commission. They approved both of those. We called for a public hearing in our last meeting on June 20th. They were properly advertised in the paper, and in your packets, all the information is contained. So, Thomas?
As you know, I've sent you an electronic copy, and I believe you have a hard copy. Firstly, it's a text amendment. Miss Amy Miller with the state of Tennessee contacted us and asked us to make some revisions to our ordinance. This ordinance will not affect in any way the way we do business. It'll stay just like it's being done. But there is some terminology that she felt needed to be changed in our ordinance. She changed that for us. We brought that to the Planning Commission. It was approved through the Planning Commission, now being brought to you for approval.
I entertain a motion to approve this.
Move.
Have a motion from Mike Morgan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Carolyn Norman. Any questions? Discussion? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. The next one's a public hearing tonight, July 5th, 2016, ordinance number BB 657, an ordinance to amend the Dyersburg municipal zoning map to rezone properties near Upper Finley Road and North Highway 51 bypass from R1 high density residential district to B2 general trade and services district. Again, this went to the Planning Commission, was approved there. Came to this body for approval to call for a public hearing on June 20th, and tonight is that public hearing. Thomas?
We have 5 different properties, starting at Upper Finley Road going north on Highway 51. We've been approached by 5 different owners. We have those applications on hand. You received those applications from those property owners. They're all commercially operated businesses except for one belonging to Mr. Lee Hastings, Mr. Dennis Miller property. The properties are currently zoned R1. They were all, other than the vacant lot being used as commercial use, they've all requested to be rezoned to B2, which, as per our planner, is a good fit between residential and commercial. So at this time, we're asking they be rezoned from R1 to B2.
B2 means what now?
It's a medium business district.
A business, okay.
That's
Is this going to change the residential to the tax on the commercial? Was it 25 to 40?
It will be zoned commercial. Now, there are commercial operations now, so I'm making an assumption, I would have to defer to Bob, that there, One of them, two of those are churches.
Sure.
So they're in their own tax bracket. The other two are nursing assisted home facilities.
Yeah.
So whatever their tax rate would be is what they are, and the last one is a vacant lot today.
Approved by the planning commission.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Next item on the agenda, Chamber of Commerce 2016-2017 TED budget and economic development update. Jimmy Williamson, Chairman of the TED committee, and also Danny Watson is with him. He's Chairman of the Board of Directors for the Chamber, and Tammy Hall is here as well. Jimmy?
Yeah. Good evening. Appreciate the opportunity to come and tell you a little bit of what the Chamber's been doing this past year. I think Tammy sent y'all a package that's got a copy of Destination Magazine, the brochure that's made available at the hotels for guests to look for somewhere to eat and shop. And she also prepared a 5-page list of the activities of the Chamber on tourism and economic development, some of the marketing initiatives, and industrial prospect activities. They've had 19 prospects in the last year. 7 of them have come and looked at the Sun building, and I think a couple of those industries have been back at least twice to look at that building. So it just shows the importance of having an empty building to show for industrial development. Alan attends all of the meetings with the developers, industrial developers, and for the marketing, for the retail, to make sure our community is represented. For existing industry, we have the industry appreciation cookout, manufacturing day breakfast, and then the quarterly roundtable meetings with the HR executives. And in small business development, offer programs for small business folks to come and learn how to run their business a little better. Ribbon cuttings, and of course the farmers market. Steve's done a great job with that again this year. It's been very successful. And in the community leadership, Dyer County adult and youth leadership, Vision 21 town hall meetings, legislative caucus to keep the community informed about what's going on in the legislature, and in the congressional forums that we've had, so that our community can meet the people who's running for the 8th District Congress. Any questions about any of the activities that we've had?
And I think on the back of that is the budget for the next fiscal year, and you're coming here tonight asking us to approve that budget, correct?
Yes, and it's, if you'll notice, it's broken down in 6-month increments, July 1 through December 31, and then January 1 through June 30th. Total revenues that we expect from the hotel motel tax is $245,000. Administrative expenses that we've estimate that to run the programs is $358,500. Regional development activities is $152,500, and total expenses of $511,000. This net loss that it shows here is not actually a net loss. It's the portion that the chamber pays out of the chamber dues to support these programs. The TED money is about 50% of what's needed, or a little less than 50% of what's needed to support the programs that the chamber does. Any questions about? Of course,
Any questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve the budget next year for the TED committee.
So moved.
Have a motion from Dennis Moody,
Second.
second from, is it Carolyn? Ms. Carolyn?
No, Robert.
Robert, okay. Robert, any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks, Danny. Tammy, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Street and Sanitation Committee meeting, June 23rd, 2016. Chairman Mike Morgan.
Thank you, Mayor. The Street and Sanitation Committee met on Tuesday, June 23rd, 10 a.m. at the second floor conference room at City Hall. Members present was Mayor John Holden, Kevin Cheney, Bill Eskew, Committee Chairman Mike Morgan. Other aldermen present were Terry Glover and Bob Kirk. Staff and others present was Johnny Damesworth, Street and Sanitation Superintendent, Steve Anderson, Treasurer, Greg Williamson, Purchasing Agent, Scott Ball, Stormwater, Tiffany Hurd, Engineer, Thomas Mullins with the Codes Department, Steve Isabel, Chief of Police, Mike Smith and Christian Dyke, State Gazette, John Charlson, Public Works Consultant with MTAS, James Scott, Division of Water Resources, or TDEC. Chairman Mike Morgan called the meeting to order. The committee convened to discuss the following agendas. Number one was the status of the construction of the new landfill sale bid. Scott Ball reported on the most recent bids for the development of the new sale. And we received 4 bids, with the lowest being $1,295,042 up to the highest bid of $2,199,453. After review by the city engineer and staff reviewing the bids, the award was given to Coffee Construction, was recommended to the Finance Committee for the approval. Tiffany Hurd stated that the construction time is contracted for 175 days. She further noted that the sale should have a 10-year lifespan and the city will fund final testing upon completion of the sale construction. And Alderman Cheney made the motion to approve the contract bid to Coffee Construction. Alderman Bill Eskew seconded the motion. The motion was approved and it's being presented here tonight. So I guess I put that in form of a motion.
Okay. A motion from Mike Morgan to accept the low bid from Coffee Construction. Is there a second? Second, Robert Taylor Jr. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Second on the agenda was the status of the retention basin. Scott Ball introduced John Charlson, who presented information to the committee discussing the city's current guidelines and responsibilities to TDEC and the EPA for long-term inspection and maintenance of stormwater control measures, specifically retention basins. He included information regarding current city ordinances, public benefit, and the use of public funds. The committee heard much discussion resulting in a motion by Alderman Cheney stated for the city to take the necessary steps to acquire the necessary maintenance agreement for these retention ponds that provide a public benefit. Chairman Mike Morgan stated he would second the motion with the understanding that these were put in years ago for drainage and without a maintenance agreement, and take it before the board. Upon committee vote on the motion, Alderman Bill Eskew excused himself from voting. Chairman Morgan and Alderman Cheney voted to approve the motion. Mayor Holden voted no to the motion. The motion was approved and will be presented tonight. And I guess that's what I'm doing now, making a motion.
Okay, I have a motion from Mike Morgan. Is there a second? Second from Carolyn Norman. Questions. I've got 2 questions that I want to get answered before we vote on this, because I'm sure the city staff will be involved in doing the necessary work on this. Obviously, the question that I have is, number one, who will determine that the retention pond was installed to stop an existing flooding problem that has been detrimental to nearby taxpaying citizens, or was it installed to prevent potential flooding resulting from increased runoff caused by the new projects or developments? So who is going to make that determination on these detention ponds?
I guess the committee could.
Committee? Okay. Okay. The second question I have, we talked about this in terms of mowing. Obviously, in those detention ponds, there's other things that go along with that. Silt, as it is acquired, silt has to be removed. Also, the drainage structures inside the detention basins consist of weirs, overflow pipes, catch basins. Are we responsible for those as well? Or is this just mowing?
I'd say we'd be responsible for all of it.
I'm sorry, Ms. Carolyn?
Well, just my opinion, I think we ought to be responsible for all of it.
Okay.
Were we responsible for all of it before, or were we just mowing it?
We were just mowing, as far as I know.
Has there been a maintenance issue come up with any of this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, if it's not working, it's of no benefit in either cause. So I would say the committee would need to, if there's maintenance that got to be done on it, that would be a committee decision also.
Okay, so we're going to get a maintenance easement from the landowners if they so choose to do so. And that easement is going to have to state what our responsibility is. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the committee is going to make that decision?
That's correct.
Okay. So the committee will make the decision as which ones to accept based on the plans and all that. And then also we'll make the decision as far as what the maintenance easement will say. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Any other questions?
How soon will that be done? Because the growing season is, we're pretty well into the growing season, so the committee would need to meet fairly soon, I would.
I would say
guess.
we could do it Thursday or Friday
Okay.
and get that done. We can get, I guess, the plans from Public Works and look through those and see what we need to do.
My second of the committee meeting of Mr. Cheney's motion with the understanding that we've been mowing them for years and that we continue to mow them. Now, this, time would be just for mowing.
Okay. And we'll discuss that at the committee, is that?
Yeah.
Fair, okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. With understanding the committee will decide those two issues. Mr. Court, I ask that you call the roll for this vote.
Okay, I'm going to do a roll call vote. I'm going to start from the left-hand side, my left-hand side, and also the right-hand side. Mayor Barton will be called upon last. I'll ask you for a yes, a no, or abstain. Are there any questions to that? Okay, starting with my left here, Mr. Kirk,
Yes.
Alderman Eskew,
Yes.
Mr. Glover,
Yes.
Alderman Cheney,
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Yes.
Alderwoman Carolyn Norman,
Yes.
Alderman Robert Taylor Jr.,
No.
Mayor John Holden.
No.
Okay, this is a total of, we have 7 yeses and 2 noes.
Thank you, Mr. Recorder. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, Finance Committee meeting from the 24th, the 30th, and the 1st. I don't guess we need to read that. All dealt with the budget. We passed the budget, so will that be correct? Mr. Cheney, Steve, right? Okay. Next item B is Greg Williams. Greg?
With the passage of the budget, I've got 12 items that are routine in nature, and that meaning they're either a contract for some sort of maintenance or an item that I was able to bid out and get prices on, and it's an open purchase that will be made throughout the year and just routine purchases. I'll go through these. Try to go through them quickly, but if you have a question, please stop me and I'll try to answer that. First item is for the water plant, wastewater plant recreation for 120,000 gallons of liquid chlorine bleach. I had 3 bidders respond, high bid of 116,400, low bid of 86,400 from Vertex Chemical, who we have bought from in the past with no problems. So I recommend awarding the bid to Vertex Chemical of Memphis for $86,400.
So moved. Motion from Bob Kirk, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Carolyn Norman. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the water distribution. It's an open purchase order for water meters from the sole distributor of the standardized Neptune meter. I recommend awarding the bid to Consolidated Pipe of Memphis for $30,000.
Further recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Terry Glover, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Kevin Chaney. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the street department for 265 tons of cold mix asphalt. This is the sole source of the Easy Street asphalt that we have been using. So I recommend awarding the bid to Atlas Asphalt, Jonesboro, Arkansas for $30,000.
We've been using this company and this.
For about a year.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you.
Further recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second. Motion from Carolyn, second from Dennis. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the EOC. It's an open purchase order for repairs, equipment transfers, and new installation for all city departments. Recommend awarding the bid to West Tennessee Communication of Dyersburg for $20,000.
Further recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Terry Glover, second. Second from Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the police department's open purchase order for the purchase of patrol uniforms. The city of Jackson has previously bid out their uniforms, and this is a piggyback off of their bid so that we can capitalize on their cost. I recommend awarding the bid to Mid-South Solutions of Memphis for $26,000.
You've heard the recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Dennis, second from Mike Morgan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the street department. It's an open purchase order for concrete for various projects requiring less than 20 yards. You can see the bids there in front of you. BT Ready Mix is formerly Fort Millennium Concrete. I recommend awarding the bid to BT Ready Mix for $30,000.
Okay, you heard the recommendation. I'd entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Kevin Chaney, second.
Second.
Second from Bill Eskew. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the solid waste department for tires for the bigger route trucks and dumpster trucks. I had two responding bid. One was a no bid and one was $28,884.40. It was a little bit less than our bid last year. So I recommend awarding the bid to T Enterprises of Dyersburg for $28,884.40.
Who is T Enterprises?
That's Triple T or Tire Pros.
Okay.
You've heard the recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
There's some reason, excuse me, is there some reason that you just have one bid? Is that normal, or do we usually get more than one bid on items such as this?
The solid waste has been using a Firestone waste hauler tire for several years just because of the performance of the tire. And the way I understand it, I don't know that they're the sole distributor, but they have the best prices
That's
from
on
the manufacturer.
That's on the vendor then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve this.
Moved.
Mike Morgan's our second. Second from Dennis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the water plant. It's for miscellaneous lab supplies to be purchased throughout the year. There are several items of these supplies that are sole source. The rest are just general lab supplies. So I recommend awarding the bid to IDEX Laboratories for $20,000.
You've heard the recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Kevin, second.
Second.
Second from Robert. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the police department for speed-rated pursuit tires. This is an open purchase order to be ordered as needed. I had two response and a bid of $12,900 and also a bid of $12,749.80. I recommend awarding the bid to Lake Road Service Center, $12,749.80.
Further recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Bob Kirk, second.
Second.
Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the codes department and the EOC department. It's for the MyGov annual software maintenance, which is used for our 311 service. I recommend awarding the bid to MyGov of Oklahoma for $18,000.
Further recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
A motion from Carolyn, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Terry Glover. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the EOC. It's the Everbridge notification subscription, which provides a service of the mass citizens notification. I recommend awarding the bid to Everbridge for $11,375.
Per the recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
Move.
Have a motion from Mike Morgan, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Terry Glover. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
The last item I have is for the street department. It's for highway salt, rock salt. This will be bought off the state contract, so I recommend awarding the bid to Compass Minerals for $20,000.
Per the recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Dennis, or a second?
Second.
Second from Robert. Any discussion?
Greg, do we have room for that much? I mean, or,
We don't, we order it as needed, but we have to put our order in this time of year.
oh, okay.
We're not required to buy that much, but we have to allot. They have to allot for the order.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, Greg. Next item, the general report from Alderman, Bob Kirk,
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Bill Eskew,
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Terry Glover,
I don't have anything.
Kevin Chaney.
Mayor, yeah, I'd like to commend City Hall, their work on this year's budget. I know it took a long time, and a lot of work went into it, and we were able to put this together without a tax increase, so I'd like to say thanks for that. And the other thing, Ms. Turnbow's out here asked me to get a committee meeting. Are we on schedule for that?
Well, I talked to Mr. Glover a little while earlier about having one Thursday morning. I tried to call your cell phone a couple of times. So Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, City Hall, is that okay? The committee members, Robert Taylor, Kevin, and Terry Glover. So 9 o'clock Thursday morning, we'll do that upstairs, City Hall.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Mike? Dennis?
I don't have anything.
Miss Carolyn?
I don't have anything.
Robert?
I don't have anything.
One thing I like to say is, had a good fireworks show last night at the fairgrounds. Several folks in the community, the citizens, businesses, organizations helped provide money to that. The cost of that's about $9,800 a year for the fireworks show. We've done it for a long time in Dyersburg. We want to continue that tradition. Good show last night. Obviously, we talked about last board meeting that we named that in honor of Gerald Ketchum, who has done that for 30-plus years. His son, Alexander Ketchum, actually went and got the license that's required by the state in order to continue to do that. So thank you to Alex Ketchum, all those that contributed to this, and then also those that spent their 4th of July yesterday getting ready for that event and last night as well. So thank you very much for doing that. With that, we're adjourned. Thank you.